Hey guys, Steph here from thegoodride.com, and in this video we're going to be talking about my favorite all-mountain boards for the 2021 season. So how we categorize all-mountain boards on the website is most of them are directional twins or slightly directional. So they excel in riding centered on normal groomer days and kind of all over the mountain, and then they give you that option to set your bindings back and get some additional float on the powder days. So they're one board quivers that kind of cover all the mountain, and they do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, and do pretty well in most conditions. So first up on the list is the Jones Dreamcatcher. The Dreamcatcher is awesome because it is so easy to ride that a beginner or low intermediate could be just fine with this board. But it has the ability to be ridden technically and to be ridden fast, and it's just kind of like a fun board for intermediate to expert riders, just depending on the type of personality that you're looking for in a snowboard. So the Dreamcatcher is a directional twin. It has a hybrid camber, so it has that positive camber zone in between the feet and then the rocker on the nose and the tail. And it has a medium flex. It's kind of a mellow feeling snowboard that has a carefree attitude. It doesn't take life too seriously. It's just out to have a good time. It's fun to turn. It's really quick to turn. And it's equally fun on piste as off piste. And it rides powder really well for being a directional twin board. So it also has Jones's serrated edge on the side cut, so you get that little additional help in icy, hard snow as well. Every person that I've put on the Dreamcatcher to try it out just really enjoyed it. So it just has a very versatile personality that covers a lot of different riding styles and a lot of different riding abilities. And it truly does feel great on piste, off piste, in powder. And I even rode it in the park and felt fine on jumps and jibs. It just has this easy way about it that is simple to ride, but you can carve it and you can go fast, and it has a pretty good stability at higher speeds, you know, that most Jones boards have, that they're just like stable. So the Jones Dreamcatcher, if you don't want to take life too seriously and you just want this fun-loving all-mountain board, and you ride switch sometimes, but not always, and the Jones Dreamcatcher could be a good fit. Okay, next up is the Nitro Drop. This board I haven't spent a ton of time on, but I knew it as soon as I got on it. Like, I felt super at home. This board is an aggressive all-mountain board, so it's geared towards more the intermediate to advanced rider. It is tapered and directional, so it has a little bit of taper on the tail. It's mostly positive camber, so you get that super solid connected feel to the snow when riding this board. But what I liked about it was it wasn't a catchy positive camber. It doesn't get that like punishing grab on the outside of the feet. So it's a really kind of mellow feeling positive camber board that you can trust, that you don't have to always have your guard up when you're riding it. It does have a tiny bit of rocker on the nose and the tail, but it's mostly camber. And it's cool that the Nitro Drop has those benefits of being directional and having taper, but it doesn't feel too much like a free ride board or a powder board. It definitely has, for me, it felt more like a all-mountain personality to it. It is really stable. It kind of is mellow and easygoing if you want it to be. It's not like screaming to be ridden aggressively down the hill. It has a medium flex, so that's kind of where the stability comes from too. So it's not super noodly, but it's not really stiff. So it kind of has that medium middle flex to it. And you know, it's fun to carve. The directional ride and the taper and the positive camber mix make for a really nice feeling when you're turning it and carving it, and the stability just kind of allows you to lay it over pretty easily. It likes to ride fast, it likes to cruise around, it can ride switch. So if that sounds like your riding style, maybe check out the Nitro Drop. Okay, next up on our all-mountain favorites list is the Rossignol Frenemy. So this board is an all-mountain board, but I felt like it was more in that beginner to intermediate zone as far as ability levels. It has Rossi's all-mountain rocker, and it is really fast to turn, and it's easy to turn in kind of any terrain type. So that's why I feel like it's good for, you know, a beginner rider who is looking for that easy turning board that's a little like not punishing, but has enough stability to kind of push their riding up into the next level of snowboarding without being too aggressive or mean. This board has the 5S serrated edges from Rossi, so you don't have to worry about running into that ice patch or, you know, slipping out on your edge, because the serrated edge has got you. It's kind of the more aggressive serrated edge from Rossignol, so it's going to hold on to that ice for you and you're not going to have to really worry about it. It is slightly directional, not too much, but it is a little directional, just to help with that more directional ride in turns. And then also for on a powder day, you could ride it centered, you know, and you get that little added benefit of it being kind of directional, or you can set it back and then you get that much more directional float in powder. This board is pretty stable as well. It has softer tips and a little bit of a stiffer waist, so you get a little more stability when you're riding all mountain and when you're riding faster, but the tip and the tail are softer so that you can still kind of play around on it and you could butter on it pretty easy too. It's kind of like a nice mix of being a non-aggressive board that's friendly to the beginner or intermediate rider, but it has these features that are going to allow you to really grow your riding into the next level as well. So that's a look at the Rossignol Frenemy. Okay, last up for the all mountain boards is the Yes, Hel Yes. This board, I feel like, is like the ultimate dabbler snowboard. Like, it just has this consistent feel in every situation of snow, every terrain type, every like powder, groomers, you know, whatever, apart from the park. That's the one area this board isn't super comfortable in, is like being super friendly in the park or on gyps. But other than that, the Hel Yes can hang in pretty much any condition. It is an all-mountain board, and it's geared more towards that advanced expert or high intermediate, I think. It is directional, and it is a hybrid camber, so you get camber in between the feet and rocker on the nose and the tail. It has a setback of 10 mil, so you do get that directional feel when you're riding it, but it's not insanely noticeable. So you get the benefit of it without feeling like you're really directional at the same time. The Hel Yes is stable and it is fast, and you can push it pretty much as hard as you want it to go. It has a medium flex, but it's like a really stable medium flex that you don't get chatter when you're going super fast. It's going to hold together at higher speeds or in bumpy terrain. And it is kind of medium fast to turn. So it's not the quickest turner out there, but it turns when you tell it to. So this is why it's more of that advanced to expert range. Or if you're like an upper intermediate and you're looking for that board to take you up to the next level, then maybe the Hel Yes would fit for that as well. The awesome part about this board is it has the underbite on the edge hold, which is like 2 indentations right where your contact points are, under the toes and the heels. And this gives a really nice consistent edge hold on ice or hard snow without feeling kind of grabby. And new for 2021, the Hel Yes comes with slam backs. They are powder day specific or just ultimate. You want to turn it into like a free ride style board. You can move your bindings all the way back and it gives you so much more directional ride or directional float when you set it all the way back on the board. This really kind of puts the Hel Yes in its own category as far as being that true one board quiver, because it is so consistent all over the mountain, and the amount of float that you're going to get with slam backs is going to be like really quite substantial compared to a lot of other all mountain boards out there. The only catch to it is if you're using slam backs, you have to have a full size binding disc. If you're running mini disc, they're not going to fit because they're just, the holes are a little bit too far apart. So that's just something to keep in mind, but it's a great added benefit if you are looking for that true one board quiver, the board that can do it all. Then this kind of puts it in that category 100%. So that's a look at the Yes, Hel Yes. All right, those are the all mountain favorite boards from the Good Ride. You can go check out the full individual reviews of every one of those boards on thegoodride.com, and it's got more in-depth information about all of those. Thanks for watching.